Flavoursome inspiration lurks in every corner, however hidden and overlooked. Across the generations, the art of preservation has shaped food customs into enduring traditions that continue to shape the rich tapestry of Chinese culinary culture. But there's more to preservation than just experience. Time and the mysterious, invisible world of microbes are the magic ingredients. Recognizing the subtle changes wrought by their interplay is where experience really counts. Is what you see truly what you expect? Let's open a gateway that connects the microscopic world and the aesthetics of taste, and embark on a journey of exploration into the quiet transformations performed by nature every day. The winter solstice is just days away. In the Altay region, daytime temperatures have plunged below -35 degrees Celsius. Bakti Bek and his brother are on the move, driving more than 300 sheep toward their winter pasture.
夏季和冬季赶羊有区别。冬季下雪，羊群赶得快，羊身出汗。晚上受凉，羊容易生病。
The autumn and winter pastures lie 80 kilometers apart. It may not seem far, but herding the flock takes them 3 full days on foot.
我从2000年开始跟爸爸一起到冬牧场放牧，当年我16岁，之前我在上学，那时候我们家在盐山一带。
When the wind bites, people and animals alike crave warmth and sustenance. After crossing the Ulungu River, the terrain levels out and the snow and wind finally weaken. The sheep finally reach a pasture that is not yet fully covered by snow. This will be their home for the next 4 months. The first task after settling is the annual winter slaughter. This is the most important event for the ethnic Kazakh herders in their winter pasture. It's also a rite of passage every Kazakh boy must face from a young age. Catching just a handful of wool doesn't mean failure. The fact is that challenges far tougher than catching sheep await young Bakht. These are sturdy Altay horses. Despite being bred by herders, they still retain their wild instincts. A sudden move, a burst of speed. This is a contest between human and nature, and a little-known skill among the ethnic Kazakh people. A prefab winter shelter from the government has arrived. Young Bak is curious about this house, as if it had fallen from the sky. But what draws him even more is the special felt yurt that appears every winter. It stands 3 meters tall and is drafty on all sides, making it unsuitable for living. But for Kazakh herders, the yurt is a cold storage space within a canvas shell. Winter pasture life lasts 4 months, with temperatures averaging around minus 30 degrees Celsius. For Bak's family, nearly all their energy comes from meat. Consuming horse meat is a long-standing Kazakh tradition. One horse can yield over 230 kilograms of fresh meat, equivalent to 6 sheep.
Екеуі бір қазы болады. Төртеу екі қазы болады. Алтауы үш қазы болады. Оны 5 қазы. 12-сі 6 қазы болады.
Rib meat, streaked with muscle and tendon, is rich and fragrant. Meanwhile, horse intestines are wrapped around the ribs, sealing in juices and fat, and transforming them into sausages. Now the horse meat and sausages are all prepared, the family is ready to face the coming winter. Mirgul, the lady of the house, takes charge of every meal. Now a special task befalls her, preparing a feast in honor of the winter slaughter. With the taba naan bread out of the pan, the much anticipated meat feast can begin. Kuirdak is Mirgul's signature dish. It starts by stir-frying fresh meat in sheep tail fat, and a handful of onions is added before serving. When it's done, an indescribable aroma of spice, fat and meat fills the air. Horse meat kuirda is only served during the annual winter slaughter. By wintertime, vegetables will be even more precious than meat. So, tender lamb shank with potatoes is a special dish being prepared for young Bak. After this hearty meal, the family will rely on the felt yurt, their storehouse of hope, to get through the tough winter. At temperatures nearing minus 50 degrees Celsius, moisture inside cells turns to ice crystals and microbial activity grinds to a halt, making this small space ideal for the storage of meat. What's more, inside the yurt, saxaul and cypress branches are burned for 3 to 4 hours a day for a full month in order to speed up dehydration and impart a light, smoky flavor to the meat. On mild sunny days, Mirgul walks to snowfields untouched by sheep, collecting clean snow to melt for water. By now, the horse sausage has dried out, leaving only a thin casing clinging to the meat. As the snow melt water boils, the meat, bones and fat sealed inside are slowly released. The result is a fragrant broth in which noodle slices are boiled alongside the sausages. When the firm casing is opened, rib meat lined with fat appears. This unique delicacy will keep the family going through winter.
在明年转场的时候，我的妻子都和我一起。有时候会有意外，我们不离不弃，一起度过难关。
This felt tent gives the family the courage to combat the extreme cold. Though they stay here only a few months, they are filled with hope for the times ahead. The harsh environment has enlightened these people on the best food preservation practices. This legacy, passed down through generations, has helped preserve unique flavors. Herlong Lake is laced with waterways, and most families have their own ecological fish pond. Yi Bing's fish have been growing here for over 2 years. Now, in the final lunar month, it's time to see what surprises await. With temperatures near freezing, the lake breeze has dried the fish for 5 days. Though not fully dehydrated, the meat is now ready for its next transformation. A small windowless hut by the pond, just 5 square meters wide, holds a truly delicious secret. Smoke and heat drift through the curing room, drawing out the fish's remaining moisture and steeping it in a deep, smoky aroma. Five days later, the fish takes on a new form. Its flesh gleams like wax, glowing red like fire. The rich aroma of rice, fish, char and roast offers far more than just a smoky flavor. In Hunan, the smoky aroma of cured food breathes life into winter. Here, pretty much everything and anything edible is preserved this way. Around Dongting Lake, old fishermen mark Chinese New Year's Eve with a simple tradition. They steam slices of cured fish belly and rustic smoked pork without seasoning or garnish. The unadorned flavor carries the memory of the lake. The smoky flavor comes from ancient food preservation wisdom, drying and curing. This culinary tradition dates back about 3,000 years, when records from the Western Zhou dynasty mention specialists dedicated to making dried meat. As fresh ingredients dry, subtle changes at the microscopic level begin to release remarkable aromas. Can you guess what this is? Here's a clue. It's related to a familiar fruit. In November, Neijiang is often veiled in mist, even on sunny days. Yet one color shines through the winter gloom. Clad in red and plump with ripeness, they're hard to miss. The Chuanhong orange is one of China's oldest citrus varieties, with more than 2,000 years of cultivation history. To preserve them for long-term storage, 2 vital ingredients are needed: sunlight and time. What's more, during the drying process, an almost magical reaction unfolds inside the peel. As the peel dries, its fibers tighten and oil sacs awaken, releasing an unexpected burst of fragrance. This fleeting spark of scent lingers across the many flavors of Sichuan cuisine. Unlike the mellow richness of Guangdong's dried tangerine peel, Sichuan's version is crisp and fragrant. A touch of citrus and a hint of bitterness dance lightly over the spicy foundation of Sichuan cuisine, defining its unique tangerine peel profile. Salty, sweet, numbing, spicy, sour, fresh and aromatic. These 7 classic flavors are further enhanced by the dried tangerine peel. In Sichuan, dried orange peel brings balance to the plate. Elsewhere, dried ingredients often take center stage at the table.
海鱸魚，呢個係咪海鱸魚啊？鱸魚哦，一斤有幾多頭啊？42隻到啦。42隻。哦。
There are over 100 dry goods stores in this area. Most of them are family-run businesses that have been in operation for many generations.
我喺呢條街都工作咗73年。
我爸爸做開啦，以前，由60零啊到依家到現在。
Seafood Street is not an official name, but a term locals have used for decades. Its history goes back to the late Qing dynasty, when Hong Kong opened as a port in the 1800s. As time went on, the goods on offer here became ever more varied. And now, amid all the hustle and bustle of hectic modern-day Hong Kong, this street still holds the scent and rhythm of a slower time.
所以我個工作好自由，好成嘅。
Drying extends the shelf life of seafood. For centuries, the Chinese have been refining this simple preservation technique into a culinary art that has the power to enhance and transform the flavor and texture of food down to the very last bite. In Guangdong, dried swim bladder is known as fish maw. It is an essential ingredient in Cantonese soup making. Yet, regardless of quality, fish maw requires skillful rehydration to release its sealed-in flavor.
海味嘅泡法時間咧，每樣嘢都唔同。花膠咧就用薑葱去泡，去到嘅腥味。
Simmered in ginger and scallion-infused water at 80 degrees Celsius, the fish maw gently loosens. A night in icy water restores its flexibility and locks in nutrients. Once rehydrated, it regains over 80% of its collagen, bringing back a supple texture and springy richness. To fully unlock its flavor, it must then be steamed for 4 hours. It's a soul-soothing meal in the quiet hours and a lingering song of the city's restless past. By drying the fresh, we preserve its essence. Over time, we have become students of nature, learning its quiet wisdom so we can keep food fresh. In the tiniest of spaces, guided by nature's design, the Chinese uncovered a new world of flavor, discovered almost by chance and unlocked by microorganisms.
Hey! 他们走正几天都是这个豆腐房来的，这个豆腐房。
Tucked in a quiet corner of the valley, this humble tofu shop is a true hidden gem.
自己多买点咯，下次。
都炸的，都炸好的。我给你炸毛的。
你的家4号家，就是数量不多啊，就是数量不多。好，下次再来。
哦，谢谢谢谢。
要提前预定一下，或者说提前拉关系啊，我们做主啊，这里给我们囤点货，我们才有的卖。一个箱子有我就能做了啊，好吧。
只有他能做这个，拿非洲那是老师傅。
Its signature treat appears only in the 3 months after the start of winter. But the joy it brings its owner lasts all year round. What customers seek most here isn't the fresh tofu, but the byproduct left behind in its making, which is why every soybean is peeled with care.
不脱壳的那就粗糙，做起来就不好吃；脱壳的，你握的那些就好吃些。从小我父亲做豆腐啊，我跟他学啊。
The tofu making craft has been passed down through 3 generations. Now these skills come naturally. However, after back surgery 3 years ago, Joe found he could no longer lift heavy weights. So he designed a set of clever lever-powered tools to do the job for him. Every master has his own secrets for success. For Joe, it's optimism and a hunger to learn. His shop specialty is a humble dish made from soy pulp, the leftover from soy milk making.
豆渣吃完就是我自己摸索出来的。他打豆腐的时候没做过多少豆渣，因为他也做不成呢。像我豆渣原来不是一次性那个做得出来的，很多时间要失败。碰那个火，如果太大了，那会烧糊啊；太小了也不行啊，那烤不关了。
Once seen as worthless, soy pulp has now been given a new lease of life. With skill and patience, it can become something remarkable. A quiet display of how Chinese ingenuity finds greatness in the everyday life. Joe believes the soy pulp should be fried, so it's just dry enough, taking care not to burn it. This sets the stage for what comes next.
一般还是有一点点技术的嘛，但是有些东西讲不出来，这就是经验，这种摸索出来的经验。
Outside, the temperature dips close to freezing. But inside, Joe keeps room temperature steady at 15 degrees Celsius, with slow burning charcoal. After 4 days, a pale yellow fluff appears on the tofu pulp, evidence that airborne microbes have quietly taken root.
现在基本上来说，失败的还是极少的，一般是没有的。
The soy pulp now becomes a battleground for microbes. Neurospora crassa, known as red bread mold, is a common fungus in nature. Here, nourished by the pulp's coarse fibers and warm temperature, it ferments and produces carotenoids, staining the surface a striking orange red. Outside, it would struggle to grow, easily disrupted by competing bacteria. But in this temperature-controlled room, off limits to outsiders, Joe has created a quiet stronghold, a space where beneficial microbes can thrive without interference. The secrets of fermentation were neither discovered in books nor passed down through tradition. On the contrary, they took root in moments of intuition. Only later, after years of quiet experimentation, did they blossom. Today, Joe is the only one in the village who can craft this vivid, red fermented soy pulp.
我这个豆腐豆渣呀，回收全国好多地方都有，都要等托运呢，把它寄出去，自己带出去。豆板一打地大响，担子不把牌底讲，所以我的豆腐做得好。我这一天天在外面跑，从这里我就学到一黑就到老，知道了吧？
Fermented soy products are rich in free amino acids. When paired with fish soup, they release a deep, mellow flavor with a rich, mushroom-like aroma. These golden blocks of transformed soy pulp have the texture of luncheon meat. But their rich, savory flavor outshines meat itself. In Joe's home, there's only one way to serve it: fried with dried chili and lard, a flavor that reflects the unpretentious spirit of mountain life in northern Hunan.
其实我也是个喜欢笑、快乐的人呐、哪怕就是没钱，因为饭吃为止，倒也快，一说话就笑。
Through endless cycles of success and failure, we've come to understand the temperament of microbes and, in time, distilled a quiet culinary wisdom. In Shanzhou, in Hunan province, persimmon vinegar is a staple on every family's table, served with all 3 daily meals.
妈，你回来啦？嗯，跟我吃饭。滚水泡馍。来，泡馍粥。看看钱钱咋样？可以。那预估都说完了。说完。
Lu Junhui lives with her mother-in-law in a traditional cave dwelling. Now that it's late autumn, the harvest season is beginning to wind down. This courtyard home, carved 7 meters into the ground, preserves a way of life that began over 5,000 years ago in the Yangshao culture. Presently, it's home to 3 generations of the Lu family. Though the design has evolved, the core features of the cave home remain. Stable temperature and humidity, warm in winter, cool in summer. As she does every year, Lu Junhui snaps photos of the orchard and sends them to her husband, Li Minghui, who works far from home.
我说那个和聚会去吃完饭再收去。
No matter how busy he is, Li always takes time off to return home for this season. Frost's descent marks the final solar term of autumn. As the gap between daytime warmth and nighttime chill widens, a fine white layer forms on the persimmons. This is a sign their sugar content has reached its peak.
你看，这霜降之后，它这个上面柿子上面这层白霜越来越多，这是天然的醋酸菌，它酿醋的时候就靠它。
Li Minghui is skilled at making persimmon vinegar. His workshop is set inside a cave dwelling. Lu Junhui stays year-round to look after this precious space. The secret to making good vinegar, with no added cultures, lies in the cave's steady temperature and humidity. Over the course of 2 years, microbes slowly turn the fruit's sugars into acetic acid. Persimmon vinegar has been brewed since the Northern Song dynasty, nearly 1,000 years ago. It remains one of the most common household methods in northern China.
一般发酵2年的柿子拿去蒸馏就是酒了，但是做醋还不行。这个时候就是比谁手艺好了，擂醋擂得好，醋才地道。
When the bubbling in the vat slows, Li Minghui knows it's time for the key stage of the brewing process. Vinegar brewing involves mixing in wheat straw and stirring repeatedly. The straw draws out impurities, filters the mash, and allows it to breathe. This accelerates oxidation, deepens fermentation, and brings out the full aroma.
得反复擂醋至少9次，然后再有1年多的日晒和冻藏，醋也清澈，口感和风味就最好了。
Vinegar brewing evolved from winemaking. In China, the history of vinegar spans more than 3,000 years. Of the 5 basic tastes, sour takes the lead, not just because of its long antiquity, but for the unique sharpness it brings to the palate.
我们老北京的这个米醋啊，用的都是固态发酵，口味呢比较柔和，特别适合用来做这个醋溜啊、醋爆这样的菜。
There's a rule for adding rice vinegar. Pour it along the wok's edge right before serving. The heat releases a sharp, tangy aroma that whets the appetite.
一般我们在家里边食用的醋都是3.5到4度的醋，糖醋鱼了是用的6度的老陈醋。
Shanxi people take their vinegar seriously. Their aged vinegar, with a total acidity of 6%, ferments for 6 to 10 years. In coastal Fujian, where light, delicate flavors are favored, vinegar still plays a vital role. Yongchun aged vinegar from Quanzhou carries a subtle, natural sweetness. Across China, vinegar is used to add brightness and depth to local cuisines. Each region has its own approach. The result is a cornucopia of flavorful dishes whose keynote is sourness. For Li Minghui's family of 5, the vinegar-making season is also a time of reunion. As Lu Junhui and her mother-in-law prepare dumplings for the occasion, a hidden treasure quietly bubbles away inside the vinegar jar. As the vinegar ages, a thin film forms on its surface, gradually thickening into a layer that resembles fatty meat. It's called the mother of vinegar, or vinegar film. Edible and prized, it's the essence of persimmon vinegar, rich in microbial protein and cellulose. Sliced and served cold, it's a hidden delicacy found only in this cave courtyard. Here, in this courtyard, people, space, and microbes exist in quiet harmony, each completing the other.
就像熟肉一样，我看着。可对。
这个平时我吃凉皮的时候都这样。
我平常感觉嘴里没味，我就喝醋，没吃过钙。
妈妈最能吃醋，知道了？
为啥？
妈妈号称是醋坛子。
We try to harness the potential of microbes. In return, they awaken our taste buds. Inside the tiny world of fermentation, they transform ingredients, renew flavors, and silently expand the taste possibilities of the Chinese palate. Shaoxing, a land of enduring prosperity for over 1,000 years. Time has shaped the spirit of the Jiangnan region and nurtured a wealth of cultural and culinary treasures.
来绍兴一定要去造福。
For millennia, the art of brewing has infused this land with flavors like no other. Wang Yaping, one of the few female brewers in Shaoxing, has a particular fondness for a flavor derived from a byproduct of Huangjiu, a traditional yellow rice wine. The yellow rice wine lees retain about 10% alcohol and have a sweet, savory, slightly bitter taste. But add a touch of salt and let it ferment further, and you'll draw out a deep, fragrant aroma.
3年是状态是最好的。这一酒糟就算是熟化了，成熟了。
After 3 years of aging, the lees lose their alcohol but develop an intense fermented scent. In Shaoxing, they're used to season pork belly and offal. No spices needed. Just add a dash of salt, wrap it in gauze, and bury it in the lees paste. It takes 10 days for the flavor to seep through, but this taste journey really gets going when summer hits its peak. August. While Shaoxing swelters in muggy heat, a lone boat glides across Jianhu Lake, breaking the morning stillness. Each year, local brewers repeat the same ritual, fetching lake water and foraging herbs in the mountains.
Mm, 很辣很辣，这个红根呢，就是我们正宗的做酒药用的辣椒草。
All the aromas of Shaoxing yellow wine begin here in August. Its essence lies in a fermentation starter made from water pepper, Jianhu Lake water, and glutinous rice.
我们家有3姐妹，我从小就喜欢这个手艺，所以我爸爸就传给了我。
一个女孩子，哎，一个女孩子，就是更棒了，
更棒了，
哎，更棒了。
The starter is shaped into balls and placed into vats to ferment. The water pepper's natural growth hormones accelerate microbial activity, creating a miraculous alchemy of flavor. Four months later, winter brewing begins. First, autumn-harvested glutinous rice is steamed until fragrant, then mixed with the starter while still hot. The evolution of the aroma is about to enter its second stage. Over 6 months of complex fermentation, microbes multiply and grow, infusing warmth and life into the glutinous rice. Each tiny bubble tells a tale of the wine's journey, from sour to sweet, then to fragrant. Only when the last of the grain protein dissolves into a deep, mellow bouquet will the microbes' work be done. Though a byproduct of winemaking, the lees from yellow rice wine are a hidden treasure in the right hands. With another 3 years of fermentation, they can turn everyday meat into a fragrant feast.
糟肉就吃起来的时候，又有那种酒香味，又把肉当中的这种腥味就去除掉。
About 200 kilometers away in Shanghai, the aroma of rice wine lees takes on a new form. Locals mix the lees with yellow rice wine, then add osmanthus syrup for sweetness. This technique, called diaozao, involves hanging the paste in cloth bags to slowly release its flavor-rich liquid. After a night, the aroma is just right. The next step, cook the ingredients and soak them in the filtered lees sauce. Seafood stays fresh and sweet, while vegetables absorb a gentle savory note. This method marinates food in wine lees, infusing each bite with mellow warmth.
哦，妈，今朝做搿只菜啊？
哎，今朝做招呼呀，天热了。
蛮好蛮好。哦，搿天热吃老适宜，侬讲是伐？
今朝阿拉就吃搿只菜。
哦，好呀，
天热呀，
对
伐？咁我现在拿文字笔写出来，对伐？非常牛。
Jotting down cooking notes whenever something grabs her interest is a habit that goes way beyond everyday homemaking. Now in her 80s, Hu Li Mei has spent more than 60 years in the kitchen.
那个时候就是女的理发师、女的飞行员都是第一代的吧，那么我就是第一代的女厨师。这就是刚进饭店，19岁，大辫子不方便，长头发讨厌，就把它绞了。绞了以后嘛，就我再去找了一个像，弄了一点点刘海，就这样。
Though long retired, Hu Li Mei's skills remain sharp. Her signature dish is still famous and pairs perfectly with her handcrafted diaozao sauce.
这个黄鱼哪能买法啦
2个块一斤，喏，搿只刀没肚皮的。
没肚皮，现在要没肚皮的。
这补鸭子。
啊，好，好，搿2条可以。
再来，阿姨。
啊，谢谢啊。
Hu Li Mei now volunteers at community cooking classes, sharing her skills with local food lovers. Specializing in Shandong cuisine, she takes the most pride in her signature dish, sliced fish in rice wine sauce. After retiring, she updated her recipe, swapping carp for yellow croaker. She believes the tender flesh of that fish pairs better with the mellow depth of her diaozao sauce.
那么我们这个呢，就是用蛋清、生粉来上酱，这个就像跟小孩洗澡一样。7000人大会到北京去了，那么这个是我们炉灶的那些师傅，7000人吃饭就这些人烧的，厉害吧？4菜1汤，简单。你看，这是栗子肉，对吧？女同志没有这个劲的呀，只有炉灶上的人才有。
Though now using a smaller stove than she did in the old days, her hands remember every move. As the lard melts over a low heat, the fish slices curl, soaking up its aroma. The moment the fish is half cooked, the Lee's marinade sauce goes in. With its sweet osmanthus note, it certainly gives this northern classic a bit of a southern finesse.
鲁菜里面最难学的就是大翻勺。你糟溜鱼片，你看也不能动的，就是大翻勺。你这个拖的时候不能这样去拖的，你顺着它的自然的倒过来的时候，再这么把它接住，很柔软的。
In Chinese cooking, a grain may hold the cosmos, and a single pot can contain the 4 seasons. From the finest detail to the widest view, can you see the wisdom revealed through food? The beauty of food goes way beyond just its taste. In the unseen world lies the quiet wisdom of Chinese tradition, a wisdom that follows the rhythms of nature and finds its way to harmony.